Hey everybody, it's Lily, and today is April 30th, which means today is the last day of this year's Camp NaNoWriMo. So in honor of that, and just because it's the end of the writing week, this video is a week 4 Camp NaNoWriMo update and overall Camp NaNoWriMo review. So, I guess let's just jump right on in. If you have been keeping up with any of these videos, you probably already know that I did not win Camp NaNoWriMo. I know that in my other videos I've said that I am like way behind, but officially there is no way, unless I can write 20,000 words in a day, that I will win this year's Camp NaNoWriMo, which is fine. It's a little disappointing, but it's not to say that I haven't learned a lot through this experience. So my writing goal for this Camp NaNoWriMo was to write 40,000 words / finish my first draft of my novel, neither of which I have accomplished. So I started out really strong. I was meeting my word count every day, and many days exceeding it by at least a couple hundred words. And then I hit week 2, and then it really dropped off from there. Part of that was because we went on vacation, and part of it was because I reached a point in my story where I didn't know how to put it all together and how to get to kind of my climax and my ending, and I'm still working through that. I only wrote about 21,000 words in total. However, that being said, I don't count this experience as a loss. I actually learned a lot about my novel and where I think it needs to go, and a lot about writing itself. So last week, after my little writing update, I think I said that I was going to write some of the scenes that I knew I wanted to have in there but didn't know how to string together in a cohesive manner, and I actually ended up doing that this week. On Tuesday, I actually ended up writing about 3,000 words, which is the most in a day I think I've written, at least for this project. So it was a really great writing day, and honestly, it didn't feel at all like a slog. A lot of times I'm so focused on the word count that it just feels like this total slog, and I actually, a lot of times, I write in Word, and so I will move the document down a little bit so that the bottom bar on my computer will hide where the word count is, so that I'm not constantly looking at it, because if it's there, I'll keep looking at it like every 100 words and it'll feel like, oh, I'm not getting anywhere, which is totally counterproductive and not helpful. So I actually ended up hiding that a lot. But for that day, I wasn't writing for a word count, which I think makes a huge difference. I was writing simply to write the scenes that I wanted to write. They were fun scenes, they were scenes that I had been planning for a while, and so it actually went quite quickly. And it went, maybe not quite effortlessly, but it went smoothly, and it was fun, and it was almost enjoyable to work out the little kinks that I came across. You know, if I got stuck, it was okay to sit there for a second and mull it over and think, okay, well, how do I get unstuck? How do I move forward from this? How do I move on? How would the characters react? And I think that's almost some of the most fun I have had writing in a long time, which I think is great. You know, I think one of the problems with Camp NaNoWriMo and NaNoWriMo in general is that you're writing for a word count, which a lot of times is good. I mean, it'll get you writing, it'll get you, you know, in the seat, and it'll keep your story moving. But when you're always so focused on a word count, it becomes about the word count and not about what you're writing, you know, what scene you're focused on. Sometimes word count doesn't matter as much as, you know, just writing things how they should be written. Are you just putting in words just so that you can hit your writing count? You know, some days it's better to just leave your story where it is than to force yourself to sit down and write words that you aren't feeling, that you don't really think are gonna go, just to write words. So for me, it was great to release myself from that duty of writing 1,300 words a day, 1,500 words a day, and just write to write. Just write to enjoy it. You know, and it was a lot of fun. And it was also different because for me, I usually write very linearly. I write from one scene to the next to the next. I typically do not jump around. But for this, I was like, I don't care. that I don't know how I'm going to get into these scenes, that they don't really connect to anything right now. I'm just going to write them because I know I want them, so why not just write them right now? You know, things are not permanent. I am not etching this in a stone tablet. Word has a backspace button. I can go back and delete any of this that I want. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to fit perfectly. Just write it, you know? So it's down on paper, and it actually ended up jogging some ideas in my mind, which is great, you know? And now I feel like I do have sort of a path forward, and I have a direction, and I may not have all the kinks worked out, and I might not know exactly how this is all gonna work out at the end, but it's starting to jog, you know, my creativity, which, you know, maybe the biggest plus of all of this. It's maybe the most important thing that I'm getting out of it. And the other thing that I've really started to do this week is read my book. I think I mentioned in my last update that was something I was going to do. So I have been going through and rereading what I've written, and I'm happy to say that it's not quite as bad as I thought it was. The writing itself is, you know, fairly manageable. There's typos here and there, and, you know, obviously things need fixing. It's a first draft, but I actually think overall it's better than I thought it was. So way to go me. Another thing that I've been doing as I've been going back through is I have been using my journal to keep track of either inconsistencies or, not really typos. I feel like that kind of stuff, you know, you can go back and fix later or whatever. Kind of major either plot points or inconsistencies that I notice that I want to be able to keep track of. So this is kind of in conjunction with the separate document I think I've talked about before that I have, where I kind of jot down ideas and inconsistencies and things like that. So this is kind of one nice convenient place now to have it all together and focused. I'm about through page 76, I think. So a ways to go. It's now like 310 pages long, double spaced. But I think that's helping too. It's helping bring the story together in my mind. I'm noticing inconsistencies and backstories that I need to figure out, or at least change and tweak. And it's kind of making the story more solid in my mind, which has been really helpful. So I'm going to continue to do that, and hopefully I'll be able to chat about it with my mom and my dad soon and see what their thoughts are on it. Obviously, you know, even though I said it's better than I thought it was, it does need a lot of work, and I recognize that, but you know, just the fact that it's not quite as terrible as I thought it was is encouraging. So I'm glad that I have started rereading it. I think it's kind of pushing me now to get it done sometime very soon. So that is still in the works. I guess that's sort of it. Obviously, you know, it's disappointing that I didn't win. I was really looking forward to Camp NaNoWriMo and finishing my book this month. But sometimes things just don't work out the way we hope they will. And that's not to say that I'm giving up, not by any stretch of the imagination. I am hoping to get this book done by about mid-May. In mid-May, I'm actually probably going to be starting a class for, not for grad school, but it's a prereq for my grad school program. So I'd like to have it done before that starts, just so that I can just focus on the class and I don't have another, you know, kind of worry in the back of my mind. Plus it just gives me a date to say I want my book finished by X date, you know, and then be able to send it off to people or start editing it or whatever. So that's the plan. I think I am starting to see the ending of this book. I can kind of, there's light at the end of the tunnel now. You know, before, and even when I started camp, the ending seemed a very far place away from where I was. But now I am hoping to be able to finish it maybe in the next 20,000 words, maybe a bit more than that. We'll have to see, but it's starting to come together, and I do think that finishing it in the next 20 days or so is totally doable, and it would be super exciting to be able to come on here and say, you know, I did it, I finished a book. So I'm really looking forward to that day, and I hope it comes sometime very, very soon. So I guess that just about sums it up. I hope if you are participating in Camp NaNoWriMo that even if you didn't win, I hope you did win, but if you didn't, I hope it was just as much of a learning experience for you as it was for me. And I hope that you just enjoyed sitting down and writing. All right, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Thanks, bye.